Hi. Hi, Pooja.
Sure.
Thank you.
We have Vikram Gupta with us, who is the founder and managing partner at IvyCap. And Vikram, we'd like to understand from you, in a market so volatile as of right now, what are some of the industries where you're seeing that investor interest is actually there and it's still growing?
Investors are always interested in very high growth areas. India itself is a high growth country, right? So anything that you pick up in India today is high growth. But at the same time, I think investors always look at areas of investments where they would ideally like to also add value. Of course, there are a lot of opportunities where you get financial returns. But at the same time, I think people like us, when we look at investments, we always look at a 5 to 6 year time frame as a minimum investment time period. And we look for opportunities where we can add value to double up, triple up the growth on top of what entrepreneurs are projecting themselves.
Right.
So therefore, we bring a lot of value to our alumni ecosystem. The IIT alumni works along with us, and we have quite a few institutional investors. So this actually creates a multiplier effect when we actually invest in companies.
Sure.
So, but at the same time, if one were to still talk about what sectors are high growth sectors, of course, deep tech is becoming very high growth.
Right.
Health tech is becoming quite high growth. A lot of B2B SaaS opportunities are emerging. Wherever there are new age technologies, all the generative AI, machine learning, blockchain, IoT applications are now actually changing the way or transforming the way the business is done.
Right.
So anything which is actually substantially bringing down the costs or increasing revenues would actually become very, very attractive for investment. So we are looking at across sectors, but we are investing in entrepreneurs' ability to execute well. So we are looking at the execution ability.
Right. What would be some of those 2-3 major names that people would have heard of that have recently happened with Ivy?
So we invested in Bluestone, Purple, Provia when they were very small companies. And most of the time we take 30% stakes in these companies. And now each of these companies have scaled up pretty large. Bluestone is going for an IPO. Purple has become a unicorn. Provia we sold to Reliance. And of course, there are many other companies which are actually scaling up quite substantially, including Miko, Biryani by Kilo, and very recently Snitch, which is a fashion for men's.
Right.
So I think we are seeing substantial opportunity in sectors across. But as I said, it's the execution capacity and capability of entrepreneurs.
And do you also invest in pre-revenue companies, or?
We have invested in pre-revenue companies as well. We started looking at areas which can substantially scale up, especially in generative AI areas. We've also incubated 2 companies in the healthcare space. So we've actually, in one case, we've brought together the entrepreneurs. So we started doing that as well.
Right. The matchmaking part.
Yes.
Okay. So Vikram, how true are the stereotypes where when entrepreneurs are going to funding companies and they get to hear things like, we'll prefer if there are 2 co-founders rather than 1, or things on those lines, like if it's a second time or a third time founder, then chances are slightly higher. How true are those things?
It's obviously experience helps, right? If you failed in something and then you learn from that failure, then your fire is still there. If I'm an entrepreneur, I did not succeed because I didn't get a good co-founder at that time, or I was in a bad market from fundraising perspective. When I was trying to address the right product market fit, I was fully committed. It was not my fault to fail, right? So, failure is actually treated as not succeeded yet. So I think those entrepreneurs would actually do even better many times than people who have not failed yet or not succeeded yet, rather, and still trying to succeed. So I think we definitely assigned a lot of value to people who got that kind of experience and still have a lot of passion and drive and aspirations and motive to really make a difference.
Right. And Vikram, what is the size of investment, the range that IvyCap?
We start with as little as 1 crore. We go to 50 to 60 crores as a first check. We like meaningful stakes in companies. Even if we are starting small, we like to reach 25 to 30% stakes in companies. but that's with the intent to add a lot of value to this company.
Got it. And what are the 3 things that you might be looking for in an entrepreneur or an entrepreneurship team?
There are 3 things, right? There are typical questions of what they're doing, how they're doing, and why they're doing, right? What they're doing is important from the perspective of does it make sense what they're doing? Because there could be many other people doing it. Is their problem strength? Is their market size and things like that? How they're doing is all about is the business model efficient, capital efficient? Is it profitable growth and things like those? Why they're doing is actually many times investors don't look at. Why is a very, very important component, and I assign more than 50% weightage to that because if you're doing it just to make money, then probably you will end up faltering somewhere. But if you're doing it to make a difference and generally solve a problem, you will succeed eventually, right?
What could be 1 or 2 good examples and 1 or 2 not so good examples of why that you might have seen over the years?
I think very hard to quote specific examples, but I think you would see companies like Bluestone, Clovia, Purple, Biryani Bek, in our own portfolio, where the why part has been very strong because despite the challenges they faced, Purple, we took 30% stake in the company very early on, and at some point the company was struggling to actually really raise capital, but the why part kept them going. And there would be cases where if the entrepreneur's motivation dies down because they're facing tough times, they just give up, and that leads to they giving up at that time, therefore the company not going forward. So we've seen many such examples. 97% of the startups in the ecosystem don't reach their next level, primarily because of factors that are related to people just give up too early. So I think there will be challenges, there will be issues, there will be problems, and people will just keep sticking to their vision, their mission, their reason to do what they're doing. I think they eventually make it.
Great. Absolutely loved talking to you, Vikram.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.